Hey, how's it going? Maxon Mixoff show. Spoon in here. It's August over in RJ's land. Warren's going on that base. I'm gonna not say anything. Let him have his time. Coming in with hot clips and even hot takes. It's the Maxon Mixoff show on WIUV 91.3. Let's get it. Hey, coming at you. It's Bubba Watts of Bubba Bees on the hit music section. Woo!
40 degrees outside, coming down.
Oh, yeah, it's 20 degrees outside. All right, enough of the deal. Enough of the BS. How's everyone doing? Welcome to another week of Momo. You're doing sideways hat. I'm doing backwards hat. RJ's doing comb over, and Warren's straightforward on his hair.
Better call Saul.
Better call Saul?
Yes. He has the comb over, but
okay.
RJ's is better, though.
So how's everyone doing this week? Peachy, not bad. So we decided we were on the fence doing a guest, but it's been kind of busy. If you didn't watch, I did the stories for our page for Instagram for the NFL draft. We'll get to that momentarily. But we decided, you know what, let's keep it the core group. I'm trying to see if Will C's around to hop on, but, you know, we're taking bets here. We want to have him on. We love the buddy. He's busy with work, personal stuff, but we're going to get him on eventually because I know the fans, the old school Momo fans, Uncle Bob wants to see him.
Well, I was going to say, for the new fans, Will C could just be like a figment of our imaginations that we keep talking about him.
Kind of like Marco.
Oh, yeah, Marco.
For Will.
Yeah.
Yes, the goats. Yeah, people are probably like, who's Will? It's like, there's this guy. His name's Will. He'll show up eventually. But no, he's good. I talked to him Monday. All's well. But hey, you know, quarantine's hitting everyone different, so nothing wrong with that. Man, I had a busy fucking day. God. Between errand running, like I bought a wheelbarrow today to do some yard work.
Right.
And we bought another rake, and then we raked, and then I was actually telling the guys before we were recording, my wife found this awesome deal at the Curiosity Shop. They do curbside. They're down on Merchants Row.
Curious.
Yes, curious. And yes, we got a dining room table, which is awesome. And then kind of a splurge I've been wanting to do for a while. We did like a little curbside pickup deal. Was I got a Apple HomePod today, which is really awesome. It's Apple's version of kind of like Alexa, Google Assistant, but it has like 8 little speakers and a huge sub bass, like a sub in there. Oh, it's good.
Heavy.
Yeah, it's heavy like Warren's bass play there. It's heavy. And then here I am, just chillaxing. What else? Oh, congrats to friend of my wife and mine. They actually got a house down in Wells, so we went to see that. That was pretty cool. You guys know Emmy and Andrew, so shout out to them. And how about you? I was working. School's wrapping up. Last week of classes for me is this week, next week, and then summertime. How about you guys?
Like, do I tell you my plans for the rest of the year like you just did?
That was just today.
What?
That was a whole year. What are you talking about?
I felt like you did the whole year there, or at least the summer.
Yeah, that's summer and COVID.
So today, I did something I haven't done since my birthday.
Nothing?
Huh?
Nothing?
What did he say? I didn't catch it.
I think he said nothing. RJ, what did he say?
Yeah, did you nothing?
No, I do nothing every day. I said this is the first. I did something that I haven't done since my birthday, March 4th. I left the city of Rutland.
Thanks.
Well, I guess technically, me and Warren went to another city, right? I always forget. We went shooting.
Oh, Kelton?
Yeah. But this area, it's the first time I left this area. I went with a couple of these really crazy people, right, to New Hampshire. And they fought the whole time. And, like, the wife, like, totally, like, berated the husband, like, the entire time. and he was driving like a fucking maniac. Okay. Oh, sorry, it was Max and Nicole.
Yeah.
Went with them to pick up their
the HomePod at Best Buy.
Yeah.
That was a process. My dog's going a little nuts.
Tigers are angry.
What the hell's going on? Did my ex walk in?
The tigers are angry.
Hey! Stop. Stop.
Oh my god.
Stop.
I hope Max is okay.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to tame my dogs. Like fighting in the shadows and stuff.
Did my ex walk in?
No, Mickey's like afraid of something. He's hiding underneath the table. So that was very unprofessional of me. I apologize.
Did my
Under
ex?
my face? Under my face?
Yeah, made my face.
Speaking of exes,
Yeah.
maybe RJ can relate to this, but I don't know what's more toxic, my ex or COVID-19.
Oh!
Jesus.
Not to make light of COVID, but you need to, you know.
Even worse than Carol Baskin?
Boy, I have to think on that.
At least you're alive.
Carol Baskins is the worst, though. I mean, even Hillary Clinton's not as bad as Carol Baskins.
Yeah, at least you're alive.
Huh?
At least you're alive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sean is alive. Shout out to that.
No sardine oil here.
No sardine oil. Yeah, little Tiger King reference. So yeah, no, it was pretty fun to get the HomePod. We did practice safe social distancing, wore a mask.
You're gonna say something.
So safe sex?
I thought you were gonna say that. Like, what the?
No, safe social distancing.
Yeah, we did. We didn't touch each other or cough in each other's face.
Nope, and I wore my bandana. Looked like I was robbing a bank. So
Yeah,
I feel kind of like a dick that I did that because like it's not really essential, but it was one of those where they had it available and they already were open, and we called to make sure and they were okay with it. So like,
Yeah,
I
you did.
wanted to save 2 weeks of waiting on shipping because everything's taking forever. So that
Yeah,
was
you
a
did
good
the
way
right
to get out of the house. Literally sat in the parking lot. They delivered it to you, and then yeah, it's pretty cool.
So Max is waiting. He's waiting right at the entrance of the store, and he's got his bandana on, and he's kind of like standing there, you know. And I said to Nicole, I said, all he needs is like an AK-47, and he looks like he's guarding the place, you know.
Like a cartel or something.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Not coming into the store.
Best Buy cartel.
So, what do you guys want to dive in first? Do you want to do the music part now? You want to do the draft? What are you guys feeling?
I'm not
draft
feeling it right now. No, I'm just kidding. My window's open.
The draft? We can do a little draft stuff. So, I guess the big takeaways that I saw, I watched mostly first, second, third round. I didn't really watch any of today's stuff. Actually, I'll say this before we get started with the show. Shout out to the NFL Draftathon, that live stream that was online. It was pretty cool. I don't know if anyone else popped in and watched it, but it was literally a Zoom conversation with like anywhere from 4 to 12 people rotating. And they just talk, shot the breeze, and they're raising money. I think they were raised like last night. They were up to like $5 million they raised, and the NFL is going to match whatever that got raised.
They're going to take it all.
NFL's taking it all?
Yeah, probably.
No, they'll give it to like
Knowing them.
but
Goodell will take it.
maybe. I hope not.
He'll store it in his basement.
But yeah, I just thought it was a cool thing. So shout out to them. Dude, they
Next
broke
to Doug
records for
Woody.
the ratings on the first night. They had like 16 million. The record before was like 14.
Yeah.
Wow, really?
After that, yeah, nothing else.
Makes sense. People are home. They got nothing to do.
Right. Oh, for sure.
That's true for sure.
So obviously you can say Joe Burrow went first overall to Cincinnati. I was kind of expected. Honestly, most of the night went pretty chalk. Like even like Tua to Miami and Justin Herbert to the Chargers. That was kind of what you expected. I think Isaiah Simmons, the linebacker from Clemson, dropped a little more than I thought. I know the Giants were looking at him. obviously been cool to have him. I think a tackle's a smart move. But the curveball, there was one curveball, and it's from my buddy over here, RJ's team. The Packers drafting a quarterback in the first round. You're one win away from the Super Bowl, and you pick Jordan Love, project QB, the first round. How are you feeling, RJ? Floor's yours.
I would have been okay if they did it, if they didn't move up. You know what I mean?
So if they stayed at, what are they, like 29 or 28?
Yeah, or at least the second round. I would be like, okay, I can see that. He is aging, and he's getting a little slower, and now he's like a glorified Alex Smith with legs, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, they traded up to get him. It's like, we were 1 win away from the Super Bowl. We have a defense, finally. Rodgers is pretty much, like I said, Alex Smith, but he can make better plays than Alex Smith if he needs to. He still has that in him.
Right.
So why not get him a couple of receivers?
It's just weird because I mean, I get like they're like, oh, Favre and Rodgers were the same age, but the difference with when Aaron Rodgers got drafted with Favre, Aaron Rodgers was considered like a top 5 pick, but weirdly that year they did not need quarterback. So after Alex Smith, everyone else drafted what they needed, and he just fell to the ground. But he should have been drafted way higher versus this kid was the 4th quarterback people were considering, 4th or 5th best. And I think the impression was with him is like, yeah, like a New England or maybe like, I don't know, like different teams like Jacksonville, a team that's like not super steady on quarterbacks and might want a little spice it up, they would pick him up. Maybe the Saints, they kind of have Taysom Hill, but a team that could use like a QB in case of transition and there's not like stability there. Like I get like if the Packers got like a Eason or a Fromm, quarterback later in the rounds, I could see that maybe, but I don't know. Like you said, the fact they traded up, that was kind of the thing that blew my mind.
Yeah. And then the other thing is when Rodgers got drafted, they were 4-12, so it made sense.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
To draft the quarterback that year.
Who do you blame, RJ? Do you blame the GM, the coach?
Carol Baskins.
Hurt too, but that's tough because the GM likes hometown talent, and I'm sure if it was up to him, he would have been defensive man, wide receiver, but I think the coach has something to do with it because then after they drafted their running back.
Right, and that's another position they're pretty set on.
Mm-hmm. Unless they're going for running back by committee, but I doubt it.
Yeah, I don't know. Unless they were, Adams, right? The running back? Yeah. I mean, maybe if they flexed him into, like, some wide receiver stuff, he's a really good receiving back, but, like, I don't know.
And then we drafted a linebacker that had missed 8 games with injury.
Jeez.
So it's
what round was that in?
That was today.
Today?
Yeah. I mean, we got the tight end. I mean, he had 8 touchdowns last season, so that's good. But
right.
Still.
Yeah. No, I think, it was just Packers were definitely the biggest head scratchers. Everything else was kind of – the other one we have to bring up was the whole Jalen Hurns getting drafted to the Eagles. That was quite interesting in the second round.
The Eagles had a bad one, too. They missed on Jefferson.
Yeah.
Which is like half your receivers were on injury reserve last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they, passed on some of the better ones. And then they traded for Marquise Goodwin. I saw that, but, I don't know if that's really –
Jefferson was the best on the board at the time.
Right.
And the Vikings were like, okay, we'll take it.
Yeah, because they need after they got rid of Diggs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird.
I will say the Cowboys.
Yeah, they weren't too bad, which I hate saying.
I would say A+. I mean, they got that receiver, and then they got Diggs. I mean,
Yeah. I
I hate
think
to say it.
I thought the Dolphins, granted, I don't know their later rounds, but early on, I thought the Dolphins was having a good draft.
Yeah, the early, I think the all-line guy was a little sketchy, but skill-wise, he was good. Because
Yeah.
he's very injury prone.
Yeah.
But skill-wise, not bad. No, they did pretty good, but the Cowboys surprised me.
Mm-hmm.
But I hate to say that because now the fans are going to be like, we got boys.
We them boys.
We damn boys. 8-8.
Yeah, it was interesting. I mean, I did the story, and I thought there had been maybe a little crazier, but I think people didn't make as many trades because they wanted to be safe.
Yes.
That was kind of the feeling. I think a lot of it felt like with the pandemic, they couldn't see as many people, and they were limited in what they could do, and
Can we talk about people's houses?
Yeah, we can talk about people's houses.
Especially,
Before we dive in, RJ, I know, Sean, you watched some. Warren, did you watch some pieces of the draft, or?
Just so the Giants got the first pick. That's it.
Okay.
So just for more.
That was about when I stopped too, just the timing of it.
Yeah. What do you think of the pick, Warren?
For the O-line from, what's it from?
Georgia.
Georgia Bulldogs.
Yep.
Hey, it looks pretty good from what I saw in the videos.
He sounds like he's the most.
They're definitely. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, he seemed to be the most stable lineman you could pick. You can go ahead though.
Yeah, I was shocked. Their announcers that were doing the draft, they were talking about that they thought there was like 2 or 3 more guys that were better than him. That they were surprised that the Giants picked him.
I think his knock was he was kind of like what you see is what you get. There's like kind of like when you do draft grades, it's like sometimes you bet on a guy that might develop like with strength or age and have like maybe a higher upside versus him. He's kind of been tried and true the entire college career. So I think that's more safe versus like future. But I honestly think I think with a lineman, that's one of those positions that if you know what you're doing, you know what you're doing. I don't know. Like
protect quarterback.
Right. If he had all these accolades, he was like all American and like best in the SEC. Like if that's what you do, if you keep the quarterback not on his ass, you're doing your job. And so I get sometimes upside and stuff, but I think there's certain positions that you can, what's Sean doing?
I don't know. Putting a hand sanitizer up his nose.
I was taking my coronavirus vaccine that I made with Purell.
Yo, how much?
A disinfectant?
I'm listening though.
Yo, how much? Let me get some of that.
That corona vaccine.
One part,
definitely.
One part Purell.
Yeah. But no, I like the tackle. Now, Simmons' kid from Clemson looks amazing. I think in a perfect world, I'd say try to grab that lineman and that kid, but you'd have to give a lot of draft capital for that. So, I say protect Daniel Jones, make sure Saquon Barkley can run around the field. That's a smart move. So,
yeah.
I'm trusting the process. About, last year, the reason I was mad about last year, not so much, I did not think Daniel Jones would be at least productive like he was this past season, so I am eating my words on that. I've admitted to that publicly on Facebook. But the thing that I never understood with that is he wasn't really rated high for other teams, and I felt like he could have got picked at 17 for them last year instead of 6. They could have got a defensive end, 17, get the quarterback.
Like Pete Carroll chewing gum.
Yeah, I don't know why this pen's a really good prop to me like this.
You like Pete Carroll.
You do look like some kind of like Giants management.
I feel like I'm
person.
a scout or manager. I'm like Dave Gettleman over here. He literally had one laptop and a bottle of Purell, and he drafted that team last night and Thursday. Some prime stuff.
Belichick was funny.
Oh, him with the dog?
Yeah, and then Frabel with his kids.
Oh, did you see that in the Frabel one? There was like one, the kids looked like Teletubby. One of them, one had a mullet, but there was like in the mirror, you can see a reflection, and there's literally a guy on the toilet taking the shit.
No.
You should find it. It's the greatest thing ever.
That's awful.
There was so many things that was funny. Like Cliff Kingsbury lives like in a Bond lair. God, do you see his house?
Who had the burgers?
That was that the Simmons
first
kid?
guy. Wasn't the first guy? The first
No,
one?
Chase Young.
Oh.
Second
okay.
pick. Yeah, Chase Young had the frozen burgers on the kitchen table.
I tried to get a picture of it,
Yeah.
but I couldn't.
I don't know. I don't think it was, but I don't.
It looked like it, right?
Or rice cakes.
They're probably coasters, but
But they looked way too gray
Like
brown,
shit,
like that frozen beef patty. Yeah.
Yeah, like I have in my freezer right now. I don't have enough of them, but I was gonna actually bring them out and randomly have them next to me and see if you noticed it.
We should you should bring them out, compare and contrast.
I only got like 2 left, so it'll work. Oh, I gotta look that one up that you're talking about. These.
Yeah, Mike Vrabel. It was on NFL memes. Yeah, that one's funny.
It's everywhere by now.
Yeah, Cliff Kingsbury, the Cardinals coach, had this sweet house. It looks like a I don't know, some future
Andy
lair.
Reid had a Peloton. That was the best. Andy Reid had a Peloton bike.
Oh, he did. Yeah,
Oh,
Peloton.
really?
He had Hawaiian shirts on, and didn't he have some ribs on a plate?
Yeah.
So Kansas City.
Did he have a woman that would look terrified in the background riding the Peloton bike?
No. I see what you did there. He's joking about the ad.
That's something we've never talked about, but that was it was funny because I found that I said that to She Who Must Not Be Named. I said, doesn't that woman look terrified? And then all of a sudden it's everywhere in memes. I'm like,
Yeah.
I was ahead of the game. Sorry, I'm hijacking the draft talk. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
You're good.
As you can tell, it's a very informal, formal NFL draft recap.
I just don't know much about it.
It was fun. I will say, it was fun just to see everybody in their houses.
They should do that every year now.
They should. Every draft, even NHL, MLB, and basketball.
People in their houses.
Yeah, just do it.
I think what was really. Oh, Warren, go ahead. I think you were going to say something.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that there was that one player that the girlfriend took his phone, he yanked it back.
Really?
Yeah, that was awkward. He
Wow.
tried to sneak in the digits while he was on the phone with an agent.
Don't be looking at people's phones. It's
No.
privacy.
No.
No.
So yeah, Warren, what you had to say?
The only thing I didn't like is they knew ahead of time who they were going to pick.
Yeah, it was a little more prepared.
I wanted to say something about that.
Okay.
Do you think we're all complaining about our teams in the draft or trades or whatever? Or even better, Vegas odds who say this team is going to be 8-8. What the fuck do they know? How much do they know before they're going to do something?
Like a team making a decision on a player?
Yeah. And then when something happens, it's oh no, we'll go with this guy instead. It's how much do you guys know that we don't know?
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of intel. I don't think them sees the light of day.
Actually, I have a question that goes along with that. Maybe I'm naive or dumb, but that guy that got drafted early by the Bengals,
Mm-hmm.
he did an interview a few minutes later. He was wearing a Bengals hat. How did he get the hat?
So I could answer that question.
Okay.
They had about 60, 65 prospects that were going to be with camera crews, like what you saw. So
Okay, yep.
basically cover the first 3 rounds of talent that's going to go. And what they did intentionally is they sent a package of all 32 NFL teams' hats in there. Because there's a couple of players on the table. You see all 32 caps.
Oh, I didn't see that. Okay.
Yep. And so they planned it that way, and I think they keep the cap, and I don't know if they keep all the other hats or they ship them back to the NFL, but they intentionally sent 32 hats to every single person's house that were the camera-ready prospects.
Yeah. I didn't even realize that because I'm all right, they knew ahead of time? Is that what's going on?
Yeah.
Well, for Burrow, it kind of was about a done deal. with him for the Bengals, but everyone else, everyone in general got all 32 hats.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Was there, maybe I missed something, but didn't Las Vegas have some kind of interesting draft pick, or am I?
Well, okay, so what they did is they picked a wide receiver that was like 4th or 5th on the board first. Everyone was kind of like, oh, that seemed like an Al Davis move. Like, it was like this kid that was really fast. And then the other funny thing that they did was in the second round, I think, they literally went back to back and, like, drafted 2 more wide receivers.
Oh, okay. I'd seen a headline that came in. It said something about the Las Vegas Raiders did something weird, and I'm like, oh.
No, they literally did wide receiver. Then they drafted a running back, but I guess his running back could be known as a hybrid for wide receiver. That's how he was coming out of the draft. And then they drafted 2 more wide receivers back to back in like the late 2nd, early 3rd round.
Kind of overkill.
Literally, the picks were wide receiver. So they essentially had 4 wide receiver-esque people in the first 3 rounds they drafted.
Kind of overkill.
Yeah, I would think you'd mix up a wee bit, but that was the only funny Las Vegas thing. But I think the biggest 2 people were like, what the fuck, were the Packers and the Eagles on those QBs.
Yeah,
that was the
Aaron
only time where
yeah.
What?
And going off my question, like I was saying, like obviously the Vikings were looking at like, well, the Eagles will probably get Jefferson. So the Vikings already had a guy. And then the Eagles didn't. And then going to my question, how do they know, oh, we're going to fuck this other guy we're going to draft. Let's go with Jefferson instead.
So my guess is I think that they know when you watch on like the NFL app, they almost seem to have the picks in and somebody on the clock, like a solid 5-10 minutes before it's announced on TV. So I bet they're like talking on a separate chat line because like Microsoft ran this thing where it was running all 32 teams. And I bet they were getting wind of stuff way faster than we were. That's why I kept saying when you watched on the telecast, it was like pick is in. But yeah, it took like 8 minutes till you actually heard the pick from.
It's like the whole Brady thing too. Like people are like, oh, like right away they knew he's going to Tampa. But it's like, how do you know? And then it happens. Like, is there some officials that are like, yep, you told me that. That's going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's insiders, obviously, that say insider shit, but also I think those insiders know other info that doesn't see the light of day.
Yeah, and they have to be quiet.
You know what's funny? I was watching this podcast or listening to a podcast. It was Ryan Russillo and Colin Cowherd, and they were talking about this sort of thing, RJ. What they were kind of saying was if somebody says, I have a feeling this is going to happen, it's almost like when they say I have a feeling, that's their translation without getting in trouble of saying, yes, this is happening.
I got a feeling.
And it was interesting the way they were. I should find the clip. It was a long podcast, but if you listen to that piece,
be a good night.
It's kind of like if you're like, yo, I think we're going to get Chipotle on Tuesday. Most people are like, maybe he'll get Chipotle. Maybe he won't. But in the NFL's insider world, that's basically like, yeah, signed, sealed, delivered. He's going to his house.
It's so interesting. It's so interesting.
I wish I could just like hang around like Adam Schefter or one of those guys for a whole day.
Well, the movie Draft Day kind of covered that. Like they're on the phone the whole time. Oh, this didn't happen. Let's now get this guy. It's interesting how much they know.
Yeah, no doubt.
So Max had an interesting Patriots prediction.
Which one?
Have Gardner.
Oh, we were joking about if Gardner Minshew, where he could go if he didn't stay on the Jags, and I thought he would be. I think he would be like it would fit New England well. I don't know why. I think he would. He's obscure enough. 6th round.
Amen.
Brady was the 6th round.
As long as they don't put a rookie quarterback in, I'm good with it.
Are you rookieist?
I am in this case. Somebody knows what they're doing.
Would you rather have Kaepernick or a rookie?
I take Kaepernick because he used to be pretty good.
Used to be.
But Bill can
went to the
teach him.
Went to the Super Bowl. So I mean, if he's good, go for it. But
he just never adjusted. That was his problem.
Cam Newton is my guy. That's the one I want in
That would be
New England.
interesting.
I want to put
Damn.
him in number 12.
Just despite everything.
Yes.
Rodgers, Brady, and Newton, number 12.
So I see you're still bitter.
Oh, don't even get me started. I'm holding back.
Well, we didn't talk about Gronk.
Yes, Gronk. How you feel about that?
That piece of shit. I'm telling you.
He's gonna get hurt by week 4.
Oh, Jesus, Warren. You have Brady like dying week 1 and Gronk week 4. Are you like a voodoo doll over there or some shit?
No,
Last week
that
you're
was,
like,
that was Sean.
I thought you said that.
No.
Oh, no. Okay, so Sean is killing off Brady. You're killing off Gronk. I see how this is.
Gronk's in on the DVD stuff, so.
And I'm waiting for Aaron Hernandez to follow, you know.
From the grave.
Yeah.
Wait, is this our third week in a row we're referencing Aaron Hernandez in the 2008 Florida Gators? Because that's
I think you're right. Harry,
Tebow. Tim Tebow.
Tim Tebow?
Harry Potters.
How have we gone 3 weeks with the same reference?
Because we gotta get this made.
Especially one that's really not relevant. Aaron Rodgers. Or not Aaron. Aaron Hernandez.
Harry Potters.
Harry Potters.
We gotta get this made, man. This
I
has to
heard
be
Aaron
made.
Rodgers is going to the Bears.
That's what I heard.
Wait, is that a real rumor?
To be honest, see, again with knowing shit.
Yeah.
Somebody knows something. No,
Actually,
I wouldn't be surprised if he asked for a trade.
I have a hot take, RJ. As soon as I saw the Jordan Love thing and I'm hearing all the people talk and like I was thinking about it, I'm like, do you think Aaron Rodgers would be petty enough to like hold out and ask for a trade, pull like a Jalen Ramsey? Would he ever get that pissed off enough?
He might.
That was a thought I had. I'm like, Rodgers has enough clout and enough leverage because all these other guys have been doing it. He probably could pull that off if you want to. I don't know where on earth he would go. I actually think he could go New England if that happened.
Wow, that would be crazy, wouldn't it?
That's a Super Bowl guaranteed.
No, I know. But wouldn't that be such a Belichickian thing?
Yeah, it would.
But
Nice.
because think about it. Granted, everyone's like, "Ooh, we'd have Aaron Rodgers," but let's think about realistically, where would he actually go, where they would shove people out of the way to put him in there? And you go down the list in your mind real quick. I would say the Pats would, maybe the Jets. I know they have Darnold, but I can see him being douchey enough to do that. And then you go like in the NFC East side, like the Redskins would, but I don't think the Redskins are smart enough to do a trade like that. Maybe the Cowboys if they want to piss off Dak, but I think that's way too many dominoes. Plus, McCarthy and Rodgers never really got along, so that makes no sense. I don't know if they do that with the Saints. Maybe the Panthers, that's another team. The Steelers, that would be a plot twist. The Bears, obviously. Like, you go down this list, and it's kind of thin. We'll see.
Indy would.
What?
Indy would. Colts would.
Yeah, okay, Colts, that's another one.
They have so many weapons that they can just be like, here, take this. We'll take them.
Like, obviously the Chargers maybe would, but I don't think they would from a – it'd be great for them from a perspective. I don't think they would pay the money.
I had a hot take on the Chargers.
But that's a real rumor you heard, Aaron Rodgers to the Bears?
Yeah, I saw that too.
I got an article about it. Came in my ESPN app.
That'd be insane.
I mean, it's just another headache for him, really.
Which one would hurt the cooch a little worse, RJ? Rodgers to the Bears or when Favre went to the Vikings?
The Bears.
The Bears.
Even though I hate the Vikings.
Is it kind of because you guys made the Vikings your bitch?
Well, prior to that part, they were kind of the fun rivalry. You know what I mean? Like the Giants have the Cowboys. That's a fun. No, actually, no. I take that back. That's a hated rivalry. Like our hated is the Bears. The Vikings kind of fun. We kind of pick them with respect.
I understand the anger, RJ. Clemens going to the Yankees was mine as a kid.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would say the Giants and the Eagles is like that fun. Like, yeah, they're annoying, but it's always a good game. But when you play the Cowboys, it's like these fucking guys again.
Well, you know what's funny? I don't know how Warren feels. I think actually us growing up in high school, that pendulum switches Giants fans. It used to be Eagles you hated, and the Cowboys were a little more like bantery. And then I think that after like 2006, 2007, they had a lot of playoff fights and stuff. I think that switched. Like they're both like solid rivals we don't like, but I think Dallas annoys me a little more than Philly, just a smidge.
It's always been Dallas.
Yeah. But,
Makes sense.
Yeah, because I hate the Bears, but the Vikings, whatever.
What team do you hate the most, Sean? In football? Yeah. Because Patriots, they've owned that division so much. I have a gut feeling.
Steelers.
Tampa Bay Buck. No, I'm just kidding. Well, I'm gonna say.
I was thinking Steelers too, Warren.
I was thinking Giants because we stopped winning 2 Super Bowls.
Honestly, the Ravens I'm more pissed at than the Giants.
Oh, Ravens?
The Ravens only spoiled them.
Yep. Steelers is
like
good.
I think your losses are Peyton Manning, like 1 or 2 Ravens games, and that's pretty much it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't mind the whole Giant. We gave the Giants those 2 wins because we felt bad for them.
Right.
So
yeah,
we can't win them all.
Let me ask Sean this. Because Sean's the honest Patriots fan, and you're not like the Brady guy. You're like legit, true blue.
I was with Bledsoe, yeah.
Yeah,
he did like him in the early 90s. I can attest to that.
Unlike the new ones, like Dylan Carter. Oops. Okay.
Yeah.
Why do they hate the Chiefs?
Why do they hate the Chiefs?
Even though it's been 1 year when the Chiefs have been good. Recent.
I think they felt threatened by the Chiefs. Like legitimately threatened by them. So we don't fans don't take kindly to threats. I don't know. That might be I don't have a solid answer, but that's the only thing I could think of.
Yeah, because it's only been 1 year. You beat them last year. They won this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think as a Patriots fans, the teams that would annoy you would be Steelers. I mean, Colts when it was Manning. Like, basically, Colts and Broncos when it was under the Manning regime.
We kind of manhandled Manning, though. That Manning, not your Manning.
No, I know, but he had a couple games on you guys, though. I'm just trying to think of – you're right. Like, that's the thing. Like, the Patriots pretty much handled most situations. So the only ones that ever kind of, like, gave him a headache was, like, the Ravens, sometimes the Steelers. I know Brady kind of always had issues playing in Denver. And then, like – and then when they played, which wasn't a lot, but rarely, was like the Giants. And then
funny.
The Jets, there's some level of the Jets, kind of.
Yeah. It's funny. Every time the Patriots got beat, that team won the Super Bowl or went to the Super Bowl.
That's the thing.
Colts, Broncos, Steelers, Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
They all went to the Super Bowl, beating the Patriots.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm excited for the
Tigers.
Mick. Stop. Sorry, fans. This is the Maxon Mixoff show. My dog's barking, so I apologize for that.
Cool cats and kittens.
Hey, he's a dumb cat or kitten right now.
Cool dogs and puppies.
Yeah. You heard it sounded like a gunshot outside. Like,
oh, really?
Like a hunting shot in the distance, or maybe a firework. I don't know.
If it was Grove
I heard
Street,
that
I'd say
too.
it's probably a gunshot. But.
I don't know what's going on out here in Jackson.
You heard it too, RJ?
I heard it too. Wow.
Maybe it was a backfire or something.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I feel like me and RJ can sometimes hear the same stuff.
Yeah, you guys are closest in proximity.
Mm-hmm.
It sounded like a firework, but
didn't it? It sounded faded.
Yes.
But enough to make Mickey come out of retirement there. So
yeah, a little bit. So I think with you guys are good, we should transition to maybe the music stuff we wanted to talk about.
Okay.
Okay, sure. Up to you. Unless you have any more final football thoughts.
Stop it.
I'm just excited to see football. I guess that's my only thought.
Will there be a season this year?
Yes. Will there be fans? Don't know. Or at least to start, I don't know. I bet you, like, if things calm down and they actually, like, get vaccines and stuff, I don't know, what all that jazz. But if they get to a spot where there's some regulation to it, I could see fans. But obviously it's too early to tell.
Do you think that there'll be an attendance issue? Even if all the restrictions are lifted, people will just not show up? And you'll see a lot of empty stands?
I say no, but my theory's interesting. I think that not everyone, but a good chunk of football fans are more or less likely to be as concerned about that versus maybe other said individuals.
Huh.
But it's also going to be geographical, I think. I think cities like in the like kind of that New York, the DC area might be a little thinner than like let's say Dallas
or Atlanta. They're already lining up to go into the stadium.
Right. I think it depends on the state and how they're handling it and how people feel but I don't know. The problem is it's hard to like, shoot hot takes even for like now till September on that. That's kind of the tough part. Because you're right, like it could come back a lot worse, and then like everything's getting the whole kit and caboodle is getting shut down again. It might not. I don't know. That's what sucks about this whole thing, which we all understand. It's like there's a lot of uncertainty from like the long term of it. All I know is that even nationally I don't have a confident answer other than we're trying to get states to come back, whether you agree or not, but. I feel like Vermont's in a good spot, and I think on the 15th, I think I said before the show, but outside of like bars and maybe sit-down restaurants, I think you're going to see a lot in a bigger events. I think you're going to see a lot of stuff kind of go back to normal. Obviously, schools won't go back, but like office workers can. I think like retail will, but they have to keep an eye on capacity. Like it's going to be like that type of stuff. I mean, they're already letting people go to garden centers if like they're not over 10 people. And you can work with 5 or less people together. So there's already little inklings of it. It's just they're trying to just turn on the faucet slowly. I think that's the thing. But
Agreed.
Not that we're trying to get super political on that, but that was kind of my feeling. To football, I think you're going to have some concerns, but I think there'll be more of like, yo, let's go.
Let's just hope the faucet's not like in Flint.
No, not in Flint. All right, so the song game, or not even a game, it's just sort of a discussion. We were talking in our group chat for the show this week, and we thought, hey, if we listen to 3 songs from each of us to kind of gather what we felt about those songs, we can kind of discuss it. If you haven't listened to them, that's fine, but we can kind of just talk in general about the experience. Who wants to go first on how they felt? I can. I'll go first. So Warren is going to give his now because he was definitely busy with the food truck this week. Shout out to Dub's Grubs coming soon to a street near you, peddling them cheese.
Hopefully.
Or what?
I said hopefully.
Oh, hopefully. I thought you said or boat, and I'm like, wait, what boat is he going to? Like you chuck it on a pontoon boat and bombazine and sling out burgers.
That ain't a bad idea.
Oh,
Yeah.
if it's like get like a big old wooden raft, roll the trailer on there. We'll have to like bring a little tugboat, tug you back to shore.
Yeah, instead of a riverboat casino, you got a Dub's Grubs.
Dub's Grubs. I'm Bomo. Just kidding, but
Brahmazine.
yes, the mayor of Brahmazine is gonna bring his food empire to you.
You got to have a burger called the Brahmazine.
I don't know.
No.
Even if we made it as a special for the day.
No.
I feel like if you did a Brahmazine, you'd have to have foods that incorporated the letter R, because the R is what's so significant in Brahmazine. So, like, you could do, like, pickled radishes.
Yeah.
Or, like, ranch on it. It could be a burger with ranch and radishes and ravioli.
Oh, wow.
No, not all together. But, no, like, I like the idea. If Warren will make a Brahmazine, we'll make a Brahmazine on our story for the show. I'll
Yeah.
make a Brahmazine. I'll make a Brahmazine on the show. I'll say, inspire my friend Warren, the unofficial, official mayor of Brahmazine, Vermont. I created a burger in his honor called the Brahmazine. But no, the food actually looks bomb. I've done some sampling. I want more samples. And
All right.
yeah. But the song game or experience, we were just basically listening to other people's music and see how we felt. Sean, I'll go with you first. So obviously you picked 3 songs that are kind of classics, I would say, in the modernish era. You chose Iris from the Goo Goo Dolls. You did My Immortal by Evanescence, and you did You Found Me by The Fray, right? Make sure I get those right.
Yep.
All solid tracks. I would say Evanescence always kind of gives me some chills when I listen to it. I feel like it's just a deep meaning to that song. I think that song I've always been impressed by is the fact that the way, kind of similar to Journey, Don't Stop Believing. There's a couple songs that does this, but the way it inclines to like have that dramatic end and just you feel like kind of how the music kicks in always kind of gets me from like that light a cappella.
Yeah.
That's cute. Sorry, my wife sent me a cute picture of Mickey by me. What makes you have a admiration towards My Immortal?
Well, kind of my last few years that I've been here. I don't know. The song just kind of reminds me of some of my inner struggles with depression and loss. And I don't even know if that's what the original writers are even trying to convey, but it kind of hits me in that area.
Right.
So I always feel like that's a song, like if I had a soundtrack to my life the last couple of years, or even the last 6 months. Last couple of years.
Right.
Just
That
if you
makes
look
sense.
the look the lyrics up and kind of put them in that context, that always really spoke to me.
Okay. No, I can totally see that. There was I felt like there was kind of a relying theme to all 3 songs, maybe to a general theme that maybe you have or you search for. I don't know. Am I right on that? That was kind of a vibe I got. Like,
Yeah.
I know that those are songs you've always liked.
Yeah. And songs that I've liked, and yeah, I was trying to figure out what you would even call the genre, really. I mean, but
like it was kind of like soft rock, but not soft as in wimpy, but just more like very stripped down in a good way.
Yeah. And You Found Me by The Phrase a lot, to me, is a lot. Well, that song is about loss, I believe.
It felt it.
Yeah, he was kind of singing about losing his mother, I think it was, and crying out to God and not getting an answer. That was, for me, that speaks to me when I lost my wife. And to this day, I don't believe in God anymore, really, because of that.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll change. Maybe it won't. Maybe it'll get big. Maybe it won't,
Right. I think what's interesting about that song, because I know we used to kind of sing it car riding for fun and shit.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, do you feel that maybe how you felt about that song in 2009 versus now evolved once you kind of listen more to the lyrics, or was it always that way for you?
Yeah, no, I used to think it was funny.
Because of First and Amistad?
Yeah, and God having his last cigarette, gonna get more cigarettes. But then it sort of became like an anthem for my feelings.
Yeah.
that sounds kind of corny, but
well, no, sometimes you find shit that way.
I could relate to the lyrics in a way that was unfortunately very personal.
Mm-hmm. Well, Iris, Goo Goo Dolls, I know that's a karaoke classic for you.
I know. I do that when I karaoke. If I ever do karaoke, it's usually that one. I've liked that song for years, even when I was younger. But I guess that appeals to me because he's talking about giving up even his own life to be able to see that one person again. So a lot of my songs, I guess, like if we had more than 3, I think I would have had added more happier. But because of my struggle with depression the last few years, those really are the songs that speak most to me now.
Yeah. It was. I think what was interesting about yours, I kind of just said, it was like cohesion of a theme. And I thought that tells a lot about your story, but like even with, if they are a little somber, they do have a sense of like this optimistic feeling of hope with it.
Yeah. And there's songs that you can listen to, and not that I don't really listen to music that much, and probably could benefit from it. You know, they say that it does help your mood. But anytime I do hear them, kind of gives you hope that, you know, other people have been through similar struggles and can get through it. You know?
Right. Enough about me on Sean's music. Does RJ Warren have opinions or questions?
I do.
Okay.
I think Max answered the Frey question ahead.
About the lyrics?
I had the same vibe as you. They're like, oh, I wonder, because I know he loved that song forever. Like, I know that's like one of his favorite songs, if not his favorite song.
Yeah. Definitely up there.
Even in the good times, he had that on all the time. So
definitely.
So that question got answered. But what about Iris, especially the chorus? Like, does that part speak to you? That I gotta remember how it goes, but kind of, I don't want people to see who I am or something like that. The vibe.
Yeah.
City of Angels with Nicolas Cage.
Right. So I don't want the world to see me because I don't think. Wait, how's it go? I don't
want the world to see me because I don't think that they understand.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That part.
Everything's meant to be broken. I just want you to know who I. What?
My neighbor downstairs screaming right now.
Fight or fuck?
No, screaming. Fight. She's fighting with herself.
Oh, that one.
That one.
That taped us.
I'm pretty sure she just said, "Fuck yeah." Anyway,
you have eclectic neighbors, Sean.
I do have. Yeah, I mean, I don't really fit in sometimes. I mean, I try to fit in with the world.
Get it.
But I feel like I have some not horrible issues or problem issues, you know, depression, anxiety, whatever. I would rather not be seen, if that makes sense. And that's probably why that song kind of appeals too.
I'm like that too.
Same.
Not with you guys though, but yeah. When I go out in public, my hat's all the way down and my hood's up, and I just beeline everywhere.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I hit the wrong button. Sorry. It's like sometimes I feel like if I'm seen by the world or whatever, I'm more susceptible to being harmed by the world. And
I mean, you guys would probably say I'm outgoing, but I'm not. It's like I've opened to you guys, and that's pretty much it.
I get that.
Well, we appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, and the gym people, but that's a whole different thing. But it's still a few people.
Corona. Sorry.
I think we were talking about we might do a part 2 of this. You were saying you had some happier songs. Maybe do you have a couple titles that shoot off the head that if we were to research more?
For happiness?
Or anything. Like if you said I think we all were stuck with like one to say more than 3.
Yeah, well, my thing was I wanted to just kind of dig into where my head is, and those are the 3 songs I got.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I like song of the band Fun. Some of their songs are fun. No pun intended. I I like Safe and Sound by Capital. What do they call it? Capital City?
Yep.
I think
Oh,
that's
yeah,
a fun
that's always a Sean jam.
It was, right?
Yeah.
And then I do like a lot of older songs, like from the '90s. Excuse me, those are, I say older now, but
Yeah. Not bad, not bad. Warren, is there anything you were gonna say for Sean?
No, I got nothing.
Okay. Do you know any of those songs personally, or
Do I have songs?
no? Do you know the song Sean was talking about?
I know the Irish one. I went and saw the Goo Goo Dolls.
How were they in concert?
I like Train too. Train's got a good
Not
band.
good.
Not good.
My opinion, no. I left midway the concert.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
where was that
Yeah.
at? The back or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. There's certain bands that don't do well live. Like, you know, Nicole said it's not good live. Supposedly, I've never seen them personally, but she said is Maroon 5.
Oh really?
She said they're very like robotic when they do stuff and interacting with fans and stuff.
Yeah,
Just
I can
interesting.
see Adam Levine not being very people friendly.
To
I
touch
mean,
on,
Richard on a Super Bowl halftime show, though.
yeah, no, they did good there.
That wasn't his fault, though. His mic was terrible.
Who?
Like, you couldn't even hear him. It
Levine?
was like you couldn't even hear him.
That didn't look very family friendly.
No, that's for after hours.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Super Bowl's hard, though.
Right.
He looks like Joe Exotic's next husband. All the tattoos.
RJ, you want to do yours next?
Go ahead, Max. You can destroy me.
Okay. What am I gonna do?
Nothing.
Screw you? I'm not gonna screw you.
Destroy me, I thought he said.
Oh, okay. So I'm trying to like kind of remember the lyrics a little bit, but when I listened to August Burns Red, Identity, right? That was one of the songs. I actually listened to your other ones too. So I listened to like 5. It was very 21 Pilots heavy when I added the other 2. But I thought the song was kind of talking about, it seemed relationship based. Was I right understanding that? Okay. I thought, so not that I listened to a ton of metal, but I thought if you were into that, and I actually thought it was the song was orchestrated well, so I will say that. It talked a lot about like relationships and like, I think finding your own self identity and self-worth instead of somebody else taking that away from you. I think that was kind of what I pulled away from this song. And I'm going to skip around because I have a theme for this. Okay. And then Truce was similar to that, but Truce was kind of more like on the relationship side of like, you went through maybe like a disagreement or a fight or some shit, but like, or you had a hard patch, but then through it, you kind of say, hey, let's try and make it work. And kind of, it's a very vulnerable thing. And so the song it was kind of designed to touch on like more of a sensitive side of like, you have these moments in a relationship and maybe you don't want to necessarily man up or say sorry and like kind of open up your soul a bit. That's how I kind of felt about Truce from 21 Pilots. It was a really good one. The one, I'm not gonna lie, I need you to do a deep dive because I don't know if Sean listened to it. Did you listen to that Soil to the Stillborn?
Yeah.
I didn't listen to that one.
If it didn't have the vocal, was that Warren?
I didn't listen to that one.
Oh, okay. It's very hard. It goes hard in the paint, like the kids say. Do you actually, honestly, don't lie to me, do you honestly understand the lyrics if you didn't have the music video?
This is a very common gripe with music like that.
Okay.
And there are times I'm like, all right, I need some lyrics here. But when you listen to it, it's like, okay, I can hear that now.
Okay.
It's a talent to like have that voice and sing that fast. Like rappers almost. It's like, how the fuck do you do that?
Right. I'm not knocking it because there's every genre for every person. But it was kind of one of those when I was listening, I'm like, if I didn't have the lyrics, I wouldn't have known shit.
But at the same time, you're like, how the fuck are you doing that?
Well, right, because you have to really go like deep neck to do that, right? Deep in your throat.
It's a different vocal cord that they use to do that. It's crazy.
So obviously it was about stillborn births and children. But what's the deeper meaning? Because I was kind of lost in the sauce. I'm going to be honest.
I'm going to leave you guys in suspense and do that one last. And we're going to go. Identity, you nailed it on the head.
Yeah.
I mean, when I heard that after the whole thing with divorce and stuff, it was like, yeah, everything spoke to me in that song.
Yeah, I know. I felt that.
Just the holding back, and then like you're either with me. That the with me or against me thing was all the friends I had previously before the divorce. It's like you're either with me or against me, and frankly, I don't give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then a couple other parts where the I have to remember. Do you have the lyrics in front of you?
I can find some. Let's see. For Identity.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I mean, the opening line was like, all these thoughts inside. Like that was like when that first came on, I was like, yeah, that's me.
Do you know how it feels to hide with the thoughts repressed deep down inside?
Yeah, that was perfect. And then there was a couple other ones that when I was going through it, I was like, holy shit, this is totally get it.
Okay, I feel like this like, it looks like it's the chorus, but I feel like the stop living in denial, stop loving the lie, I thought blood was thicker than water, you think I'm wrong, but I never felt better. I feel like that kind of hits you.
Those were the ones that, like, especially living the lie, which is marriage. Which is like, you have to get married to be happy. It's like, yeah, you don't.
Right.
And you think I'm wrong, I never felt better. It's like, yeah, you may think I'm wrong for leaving you, but I never felt better. And if you never see that, that's okay.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, I actually, a lot of the song, if you look into deeper, I feel like I could touch on personal stuff, like I think maybe for all of us in our own way. But
yeah, and Jake wrote it for a fan who was actually trying to come out.
Oh, really?
And their family was very resistant on it.
Oh, wow.
So I was not coming out, but I was in hiding pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
In my own way.
Of your true self.
Yes.
Same. It makes sense.
What about truce?
So truce, I like your take on it. I believe it's more on the suicide aspect, but I do like your take, and I can definitely see that take.
Mm-hmm.
The night's coming to an end. I don't want you to die, so you should come back over here and let's talk, and we'll do this all again. So I can definitely see that part, but yeah,
right.
That one had some suicide inklings in it because it's like, don't die. Let's try this again. Yeah. And when he says, I'm going to clear the night, most of my thoughts come in the night.
Right.
And I think we all can kind of go on that, yeah, all our bad thoughts are usually in the morning or at night when we're about to go to bed.
Yeah, mine are at night.
But,
day and night.
Especially, yeah.
Just lighthearted. Go ahead.
That song makes me tear up every time I hear it. Like, it's impossible not to.
Turn up?
Tear up.
Oh, day and night?
No, truce.
Oh, truce. Okay. I'm saying, bro, I'm sorry, man. I won't play that again.
No, every time truce comes on, it's like, oh, damn, here we go.
Right.
Because it's so personal to me,
Oh, for sure. Mm. Okay, so what about the soil of the stillborn?
Okay. So, going off identity and speaking of the lie, which is marriage, and relationships, and that you have to be married to be happy. I'm pretty sure the Infant Annihilator singer will not come out and say this, but my feeling is, and especially with their other songs, is that a priest or somebody he knows had a problem with a priest with the the touchy stuff. And
Oh, got you. Like some abuse, yeah.
Yeah, and I do agree that their lyrics can be a little aggressive, but there's a couple parts in there where I was like, that's very, very true. The one where he says men dressed in robes of black and carrying babies and listening to a book of lies. I was like, well,
wow,
he is not wrong right there. And I posted that on Easter and got some flack for it, but at the same time, I'm like, there's been times when church has been a good thing, but the more and more I look at it, it's like, and he says it in the song too, that keep something with bowls. It's like keep your bowls of greed, something like that. And I'm like, yes, exactly. And I know the aggression in there with the cock and the babies and the dead babies. I'm like, well, it is aggressive, but at the same time, it's like he has a point that this does happen a lot.
So it's more based on like spirituality than like literal like stillborn children.
Yes, and I get where he's coming from with the priest holding the baby in the baptism. And, it's weird.
Okay.
But when you have a book where the New Testament is all about love, and you say, well, money's the root of all evil, but then you're always asking for money.
Yeah, that was yeah.
Your prophet is like teaching love, but still you're taking our money.
Yeah, that part of the song was like blew my mind. It was like, because that's a lot of what I've been struggling with and thinking about as I've left religion, you could say. It's like, yeah, crazy.
Do you have any additional questions on RJ's songs, Sean?
No, I'm sorry.
Or Warren.
No, I meant Sean. I'm sorry. Not that I'm Warren. I just know that Warren didn't have time to listen. We're going to talk about Warren's next, but you, Sean.
No, basically what I just said was the big thing. I was like, wow, this is really kind of, while it may be a little, like you said, aggressive, it's like, well, life is aggressive, sadly, and evil and shit like that. So if anything, it's a song that's speaking a lot of truth, sad truth.
Yeah, and I know it's angry and stuff, but like,
yeah,
when I was in my spot, like the only thing that I had was anger, and to not hurt it was music. So, and
where is an outlet?
Do you know that there's aggression? Do you know that there's aggression in music? Was like, okay, I have a way to cope.
Well, it can be an outlet for your aggression or your anger, whereas some of the songs I have are for my sadness, I guess, in a sense. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, Warren, what's some of the songs that you would say were ones that we should check out for you and maybe what they mean to you?
Tracy Lawrence, Time Marches On.
Tracy Lawrence?
Yep, Time Marches On. It's a country song.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically just talking about how everything changes. Life goes, basically life goes on. How we, have different stages of our life where we're young, and then we reach your, mature age, and then, loved ones we know die.
Hey, yeah. Who's that talking?
So it's a really good song. Another one, is Matchbox 20.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, just draw a blank. Uh,
Was it the one you played for Sean that one time?
yes.
Well,
Unwell.
3 a.m.
Unwell.
Unwell. That's a solid. I love Unwell.
It's a banger.
You know, which you all know the song.
Yeah.
I think it's got some really good solid lyrics. You know, it's a perfect song for being, you know, kind of by yourself, which I am. So
Me too.
and the other one, it's a newer Ozzy movie. Song, Dreamer.
That's a good
Ozzy?
song. That's a good song.
I haven't heard that.
It's really good. It's
yeah.
unplugged too, so it's good.
What's that one about? I wrote them down. I'm gonna listen later.
Jesus.
Just
RJ,
Ozzy.
what's your take on it, RJ? It's
You know,
a
I
lot
really
of,
haven't heard it in a while, but
I haven't heard it at all. I don't
it's
think.
unplugged and really slow for Ozzy, but it's like it's hard to describe. You just listen to it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't want to do it justice. That's the thing.
I know. It's been a while since I've heard it too. Probably about a month or so.
I'm gonna translate there. I think he said it's been a month since he's heard it.
It's a really good song.
Travis
I want to
Scott.
say it's about like trying to like put forward. All right, which you know the service here is horrible. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Listen,
Travis Scott.
people have to understand that Listen, I have to say to anyone who's a fan of Momo, I apologize that technical glitches happen, but I feel like unless we're physically in a room, every other podcast in America right now doing remote is dealing with the same struggles.
Oh,
So everyone I think understands. But you do some bomb ass auto tuning from your house, Warren, when you do it. That's I think what's the best part is you're like, I think it's a really good song. That's the best part. It's not that you're doing anything right or wrong. It's just that the technology is turning you into Rutland T-Pain over there.
Still, Warren's cell service is still better than Alex Rodriguez's Wi-Fi. So there's that.
Jeter.
I thought it was Jeter.
I mean, yeah, Jeter.
Or are you just
Yeah.
picking new Yankee
Shortstop
players?
screwed up.
Are you just picking new Yankee players to shit on?
No, I think yes. I was thinking of A-Rod because of the whole Mets news this week, but no, I meant Jeter.
Right.
So
I can see like Sean be like, "Yo, Warren's cell phone service is still better than David Cohn's Wi-Fi," and you're like, "What did David Cohn have to do with this?"
How about Bernie Williams?
well, fuck. Have you seen David Wells' Wi-Fi?
David Wells. It's David Cohn, right?
Yeah, David Cohn's another one. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's David Wells. I'm trying to think of some other
Yeah, those are
throwback
pitchers.
Yankees.
Yeah, those are pictures.
Yeah.
Andy Pettit.
Warren's cell phone service is better than Babe Ruth's Wi-Fi.
Yes.
You see that?
Better than his landline.
His carrier pigeons.
You know what? Warren's got better moves than Lou Gehrig.
Got better what?
Better moves than Lou Gehrig.
That's bad.
I'm sorry. I'm going
Not
there.
bad.
If I believed in hell, I'd be going there. Sorry.
And this was when Sean had to issue apology and no longer be able to run for public office.
Yeah. It's either that or when I defamated Springfield, Vermont a few years ago.
Yeah, you were going at it last week too.
I know.
All right. So, Warren, I'm
All right.
definitely going to check those out. But, yeah, I will say from the one I know, Unwell, that is a solid bop from the Matchbox.
Yeah, that is a good one.
So, I guess it's my turn?
Before
Yeah.
you go on, Max. Yes.
What's
before
that?
Your turn. I was going to say, before you go on, Max, have you ever seen Paul O'Neill's water pressure? Paul O'Neill's water pressure? Yeah. Fuck that shit.
What the fuck?
Sorry, go on. Have you seen Chuck Knobloch's throw?
Yeah, that's horrible.
God.
Yeah.
So
Can't
no,
throw the
I was just
first.
gonna say, if you guys listen, what do you think of my songs? And spit some facts.
Okay, let's do this.
All right. I will say before you dive in that 2 of the 3 songs I decided to go a little off the beaten path because I could have went with some like classic Mac staples, but I was trying to be like, no, I want to have a little more depth to the conversation. So I will say that.
Okay. I agree with the One Republic remix.
Oh, the I Live, the Artie remix?
It does it more justice for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It does. Like, yeah, the difference between that and the original, it's like, wow, okay. Like you feel the song more in the remix. Like, yeah, I lived and I lived my life to the fullest.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one just like, yeah, I kind of lived. Okay, good song. But when that beat drops, it's like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. That's why I said, like, when you're looking it up, I'm like, not the original.
Yeah.
Then you're probably thinking, whoa, what's Max's music taste?
Yeah.
Listen, I like
screwed
some
up.
One Republic stuff, but that's a little weaker in their catalog. But the
I kind of screwed
remix,
up and went with the original at first. I'm like, wait a second. He said remix. So,
were you able to find it?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it does it justice for sure. So my question is, when did that song speak to you? Because that's a very
Good idea. Good question.
yeah.
RJ.
Like, when did that speak to you?
I got to look up when it came out. I think I can kind of pinpoint it, but let me just figure out. Because it's kind of like, I've sort of clumped it into like a bunch of life situations, but I just want to.
You've had some pretty interesting life situations, to say the least.
Right. Let's see. I just want to see when that release date was. Just get an idea.
Joe Girardi's ham salad sucks.
Jorge Posadas catching.
Yeah.
What's good?
Okay, so it came out in 2014. Okay, this explains a lot. All right, so
Yeah.
for me, I think when I listened to that song, I'm sure people that know me or like know the show, like I have had a lot of like stuff with family, particularly my dad, but also like not even just that whole situation, but like with my parents, like moving across country, my mom, like I think what it was is that a lot of times in my life, while I tend to be like this happy-go-lucky guy, I think internally I've always been like the biggest critic of myself, and I've always kind of think like I don't have my shit together, which I know sounds weird, but like there's always been that internal struggle with me. And so when I hear that song, the reason it hits me is I actually will tear up sometimes if you hit me the right way with it. But the reason is, I think, is because the song kind of talks about like you have to take risk, and then I reflect on like the risk and all the different things I've gone through, and I imagine how the hell, like it's just amazing I got here. Like there has to be a reason, and not like trying to get too spiritual, but like where is that soul in you? And I think it's just like this burning desire to like live life to the fullest and actually take chances, even though it's scary. And then, so for then at 2014, when that song came out, it kind of meant to me like, wow, look at the stuff I've done. But also I use it almost as a motivator where I'm like, I'm not there where I want to be. And it's like, what do I want in my life? And I think about those thoughts. And you're right. Like, it's a song I'll listen to when I'm walking. That's usually when it like hits me the hardest.
Yeah.
Like, just because that's a good BPM where it's like you're like, you want to jump to a goddamn wall after listening to that song.
Walking on Jackson.
Yeah, walking on Jackson. It turns into running and want to crush a tree after. Like it just, there's just this moment where you're like, like I don't know. It just takes me to another place if I'm needing that. If I need that, I listen and it will take me. But it does. It makes me think about like, wow, like how did I overcome certain things? But then the other thing it also hits me on, and I'm curious listening to it now because as you guys know, with work and stuff, like I've always had to struggle with like finding contentment in like a career or working, and I'm finally starting to maybe see that. And a lot of times I use that song as a reference point to like keep motivating me to keep going. So I'm curious how that fits now with Life's Journey, but that's sort of the root of it. I don't know if that answers your question or not.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, because it's such a general lyric content.
Yeah,
like, it could touch you at any point.
I would agree. Lyrically, it's not in depth. What hits me is the way that the song is constructed with the with the actual track from Artie, the drop. Like that's what is so profound about it, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a song I was almost gonna say, but it almost hits me the same way. It's just that the lyrics, totally different meaning, but the way it's constructed makes me feel the same way sometimes. Is Clarity by Zed. That's another one where it has that similar kind of, yeah. But that one is more based about like kind of like losing people and like having last hope of maybe keeping it together. And it's like this, like, talk about, are you like healthy for each other in a relationship and not? And I've had relationships in the past where I've had to like wonder if it's healthy or not. And that's another that makes me think a certain way.
Yeah, same
that's
here.
The story behind I Lived. It's more of that, the way the other reason I picked it is I wanted to pick genres that I listen to a lot, and so I'm really into like electronic and EDM stuff, especially in the last I've liked it, I think, in elements throughout my life, but like understanding it more in the last 10 years. And, that's why I wanted to touch on that genre and pick a song that was maybe not like one where everyone's like, yeah, I've heard that. So
that's the way I picked it too.
Yeah, a little like different.
Like I can go like heavy, but then there's like it's like really heavy. But then I also got that other slightly poppy side with 21 Pilots.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to cover in 3 songs.
It is. I think we could do more parts of this.
Yes. But yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed. Anyone else?
No, go ahead.
Anyone else?
We have 2 more.
On the Republic?
No, I'm good. What's the next one next?
The Drake song.
Oh yeah, The Motion.
So that was good. I will say that some of the content is good, like underrated. Like
the
I would
lyric,
think,
or
like lyric content, it's good. I think song wise is not his strongest, but lyric wise it is. It's underrated.
Yeah, so why I chose that one, obviously I'm a fan of Drake, but so I was trying to be like, okay, if I was going, okay, so it's interesting. It's a good song. I would say my favorite Drake, it's so hard to pick a favorite Drake song. Probably my absolute favorite, and it was a close tie because I was almost going to say these 2 before I chose The Motion. It's either Successful by Drake with Trey Songz from 2009, or I was almost going to pick Passion Fruit. That's another one that's interesting. But then I was trying to think too, like, am I picking these songs out of lyric content, or like, as you may kind of notice me with some of my music choices, that a lot of it's based on how do I feel as I listen to it, and how do I relate, maybe even like on an instrumental level. So I was trying to find a happy medium. The reason I chose The Motion is one that's not, it's not as big of a track of his. It was supposed to be on Nothing Was the Same album that got dropped, and then they put on like a different album later on. It was like kind of like one of those like didn't make the cut. But the song about The Motion talks a lot about like kind of like relationships and how people may take advantage of you, and how like you try to have the success, but people only want you when you're like on the high of highs versus the low of lows. And just kind of being like, yo, that's just the way it is. And that's sort of what the song was. So lyrically, I relate to that. I just sort of like the hybrid of how he was going like from rapping, like kind of like this vocal to rap. And I think it's just a cool vibe of a song. You're right. It's not like his strongest, but if you want to vibe to something a little different for Drake, that's kind of where it comes from.
No, I like the lyric thing. Yeah, like everybody wants favors from you, but when you need something, it's like, who the fuck are you? You got all the money. It's cool, man. I can. That's the thing about Drake, is that like he makes some millions, but at the same time, he's like, yo, I got people problems too, man. I got the same problems you do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why people can relate to him.
That's true.
outside of like Travis Scott, who's doing cocaine. And shit.
Yeah, it's definitely contrast. I will say there was a lot about like, the side girls, if you know what I'm saying, in the song, and that's something that may not relate to me as much, but I think the themes of it is what I kind of go with.
I agree. And a couple of relationship parts, I was like, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
That's my take.
What about you guys?
I haven't really heard that song very much.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of newish to me. I mean, I feel like I've heard it before, but
yeah, it's not as bigger.
Yeah, I mean, the relationship stuff hits me even after my last issue or relationship. So I see what you guys are saying very much in that one.
Right.
It could be any relationship, it could be the, partner, or it could be family, could be friendships. It really applies to everything.
Mm-hmm.
It can anyway, That's about all.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And then the last one was I picked was No Role Models, J. Cole.
So that one, I'll have to listen to it again. But I want your take, because the thing with J. Cole is that like you don't get the blunt of it until like the second listen
Mm-hmm.
of what he's talking about. Well, that's the genius behind him.
Mm-hmm.
So and all the references he had in that song, man.
Mm-hmm.
But I like that he's like honest about where he lives. That was the one thing I was like, okay, yeah. That's the one thing I took. Like, yeah, LA's cool, but I'm still gonna diss it. And it's like that takes guts.
Mm-hmm.
So what is your like main take from that song?
For me, it is the song talks about basically kind of growing up with like no like fatherly role models. So what's interesting about it is kind of talks about how he was able to be self-sufficient in a situation in his life that maybe he wished he had that parental support, but he didn't.
Yeah.
It may not be as jarring as maybe what I've experienced in my life, but what I relate to that song is just kind of how there was a sense of like no belief. There's no sense in like, hey, you're gonna actually do anything. And he's like, no, I am. And then what's kind of cool you said about the location thing was more of is like this true to your roots kind of thing. I'm not trying to be superficial. I'm trying to let you know that he's from the Carolinas, like North Carolina area, and like it is like I'm still proud of who I am, where I'm from. Like I always kind of say, like I've lived a lot of places. I'm happy I've seen what I've seen in the world, but I'm very thankful to the 518 and 802 are in me. Like I always say that, and that's kind of true. Like that is me.
You should get tattooed. Get a tattoo to interlock those two numbers.
You know what's funny? I know it sounds weird. If I ever got a tattoo, I think I would do something like that.
Yeah, when you said that, it just kind of hit me. Like, you should do like an interlock of 802 and 518.
Yeah.
I need.
Yeah, each pack's gonna have it's gonna be like a state outline. on my wrist. Yeah, I won't get any.
That would probably hurt. That would probably hurt.
Teardrop right here. Huh?
Yeah, for all the states I killed.
Oh God.
No, but like with no role models, I think it's just a lot of like the thing of like supposedly having support from like family, and like sometimes you don't have that, and it kind of relates. But also,
yeah,
it talks about like you said again. It's interesting. Maybe I have a similar theme to Sean, where all three songs tie in together, and I didn't even realize it, because that one talks
I feel
about
like you're right.
There's this level of like people relying on you and not appreciating it, and then being like, why am I doing this? And there's many facets throughout life where I had to learn that, good and bad. And you know what's interesting though is that the cliche would be like, the cliche sometimes with that is saying, oh, I don't need these certain people in my life. But sometimes and I actually have to say, if I'm being super honest, I think every single one of us in this room, we've had highs and lows, but what I've learned from it is that almost like I had to respect maybe where I was coming from it, so I could I was almost like having this different expectation that wasn't there, and I need to see what I was maybe doing wrong in something, and that's something that you can tie into that song is kind of like you have to remember to keep an eye on you, and yeah. But I think what I like about that song is like that track instrumentally is just a banger, and I think there's a lot of like one thing I love about rap a lot of times is all the double nuances, and there's so many in that one, and I think that's why I chose that.
Yeah.
I don't know if that answers the question, RJ.
No, it does. Yeah, it's a heavy song to listen once to.
hmm I will say I started listening to it actually because my brother was using it a lot in his mixes for shows. Because I knew some J. Cole, but like I wasn't like super like I knew a lot from his first album, and then that came out, and I was like, oh, we should check it out. And at first I was like, oh, this is a pretty good track. Like you're just like, it's kind of a bop. And then after like the 6th or 7th time, I'm like, wow, there's a lot of meaning to this song, and I think that's where it came from.
Right.
Because there was a lot of songs that was rotating in my mind. Like I was trying to think of maybe some happier ones I remember from yesteryear. Like one I always liked from high school age was like How We Do from The Game at 50 Cent. And there's not really any sort of like deep lyrical content to that, so that's why I didn't pick it. But other than it just slaps like a mother. And then one that always kind of makes me think about nostalgia and like that nostalgia that's different because like a joking one I always think of nostalgia gets sort of coined on me is like All Star by Smash Mouth, but it's got memed, so it's kind of cheapened its feelings. Like before it was cool, I always thought that was a solid nostalgia song, but now it's been memed as shit, so it's not as like it's kind of lost its.
So true.
It's lost its magic.
Even the Progressive auto insurance commercial.
Right? Yeah, it got ruined. It's sad. Like, but whatever.
John Sedano.
But what song I was almost gonna pick was "What's My Age Again" by Blink-182. Love that song.
Yeah. That's a good one.
And it's one that's not as focused in the catalog. Obviously, you know it if you know Blink, but
oh yeah,
like it's more like it's more of a top 5 one you would pick versus top 3 if you catch my drift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have an honorable mention for you, possibly, Max.
For me, okay.
Going along the lines of relationships, "Let You Down" by NF.
Yeah.
Remember that hit you pretty.
As soon as Identity, I was listening to the lyrics of Identity, I thought of "Let You Down."
Yeah.
Because that song, I will say, there's been 2 songs I think that sum up maybe like my father or son issues or whatever.
Yeah.
Better than that one. And there's another one which eerily is crazy that I felt spoke to me even in the 8th grade, but is "Perfect" by Simple Plan. Those 2 songs sum up my like that relationship to a T. And not from, and mind you, because if somebody was watching this and maybe like it's more supportive of my dad, right? I'm not trying to start any beef, but let me phrase it this way.
No dad beefs.
Yeah, I'm not trying to do dad beefs here, but it's more of how would I word it? It's not so much like how maybe me and him were verbally on the surface, but how I felt inside with different moments of either feeling stuck, feeling like disappointment, not making somebody proud. That was stuff that spoke to my emotions of how I felt, even though I didn't maybe vocally say it. That's why those songs really hit me. So it's interesting you brought that up.
I almost chose Man's Son by NF.
Oh yeah, that's one I know you've always liked.
Dude, that's true. That's a great one.
Yes. That was cool.
But not to cause any dad beefs either, but the one thing that you can take away, whether or not you ever get to, it's not yours to fix, by the way. It's his to fix the relationship. If the relationship ever gets fixed, great. But the one thing you can take away from it, and you yourself have a child, you know how not to treat that child by how you were treated.
Right.
Simple as that.
That's
Sad.
true.
I'm not trying to, you know.
No,
But-
you have a valid point, and I agree. It's interesting because I think I told you in our car ride over New Hampshire, some of this stuff was on my mind again yesterday because,
Yeah.
friends of ours got a house in Wells, and you can see my dad's place across the lake from that house easily. And
Right.
actually, long story short, there was some friends of friends that they got their kitchen redone. They live down the road, and they wanted to show us to get like ideas for our kitchen. And when you go out on their porch, you can literally see the warehouse that I used to have my place in, like right across the lake. And it was like, well, it was like, so it was like, whoa. And since I haven't been down there since like maybe October for a quick joyride, it's like, it comes back to your mind and you think about it and just like, wow. But no, I agree. It's interesting because you always have this little inkling that you worry that maybe you won't learn from the mistakes, but I think I will. But you get nervous about it.
Some people don't, but I think you will, or you have.
Mm-hmm.
But some people don't. You're right, but
Right.
I think you're in a good spot.
Yeah. Oh, Sean, did you have feelings? And Warren, you go obviously interject too. Did you have feelings of no role models?
That was the one I struggled with. Like, not struggled with. It's a good song, but like I struggled with coming up with anything to really add. So I figured that's why I threw in my honorable mention.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, that one.
It's good. I see what you're saying.
It was kind of reverse engineered. The root of it was more like, oh, this is cool that my brother plays this in sets, and then it turned into like, oh wow, there's actually a little more to this. Actually, I'll tell you granted, it's the first line of the song, so it's not like really in-depth analysis here, but this line always this line always hit me the most. So it's first thing first, rest in peace, Uncle Phil, which is a reference to Prince of Bel-Air, the dad.
Right.
He said, for real, you're the only father I ever knew. Got my bitch pregnant, I'm a better you. Prophecies I made back in the Ville, which is talking about like where he grew up, like he was not gonna like stray away, like and then he's talking about some other stuff. But like that 4 bars always kind of hit me where it's like, wow, okay. Like your role models don't have to come from necessarily like a bloodline. If they do, that's great. I'm not trying to say fuck family. I'm not like, but you can find inspiration from a lot of different people in life, and I have, and so it was interesting. That's kind of
you can, yeah.
There's some
Certainly.
different ones, and then actually the little clip when George Bush was like saying "fool me once," that's just funny, but like.
Yeah.
But that talks about like relationships with other people if they kind of over abuse it, which is funny because like that meme-y vibe goes into something actually meaningful, which is kind of funny too. But is that Aubrey or Lindsay?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I can't tell when my door's closed.
Somebody's animated. That's all we know.
It's Warren. Any overall thoughts on songs, or like maybe what we could dive in the future with this segment if we did this again?
Not top of my head. What about maybe songs that when you hear them, you think of someone? Like
That'd be
also,
good.
like whenever I hear
I like
the
that.
Black Parade, I think of you, Max. You and me in your mom's van.
Yeah. You cannot not think of Max when that song comes on, and I wasn't even.
I have a memory of that too.
I was almost gonna bring that one up, but I'm like,
We all
that's too
do.
predictable. That's so predictable. I'm like, I had to miss it.
We all have
Yeah.
memories of Max in that song, don't we?
In different capacities.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
But Warren-
chose the first.
Warren is the first because Warren and I.
That's
Okay,
right.
I'll give the story to Black Parade. So the thing about that song, right? I don't know why it got coined to me because I'm not. When I was in high school, obviously I listened to punk rock stuff, but I
love
was
that.
more of a hip hop head. And
Right,
so
That's
Warren
more
can
my-
attest. I was one of those type where when we did rapping stuff, I always was anxious and nervous to talk about with like classmates because I always thought I was just gonna be like a punching bag. And mind you have to remember, obviously the only one that had real talent for rapping as a white artist back then was Eminem and like the Beastie Boys, and that's about your short list. And Vanilla White was like Ice Ice Baby. And really at that time, Kevin Federline, Britney Spears' ex-husband, was really popular, right? That whole relationship. So I was
Yeah.
worried I was gonna be like tagged as like a K-Fed. So I was always self-conscious of this. So
Sure, makes sense. Nowadays, total different story, but you're right.
I used to, granted, I've gotten a little rusty over the years. I won't lie. I mean, I still listen to current stuff. But like, I'm not going deep in the crates for vinyl on newer rap. But in the 2000s, I freaking knew everything. I knew, like, there's lyrics. You can like tell me a song, I'll just start spitting off the lyrics and know it.
Yeah.
But yeah, what's interesting about Black Parade is when me and Warren were always going for drives, that song would just randomly come up, and you listen to it,
On
and it's
regular radio.
just like down to Albany, it's more like Kiss 102.3 or Fly 92. You know, Mom had a cassette player, so we were mostly doing that. And then I did splurge and get an FM transmitter for my iPod Nano. That's dating myself there. But and
Look at you now. You got an iPod or Apple Pod.
oh yeah, HomePod. A
HomePod.
friggin' black speaker over there talks to me.
Good combo.
Yeah. But no, it was. And I think with that song, why it's so cool is that it's such a journey. It's very similar to Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah,
Queen.
that's a good point, Max.
I feel like it was kind of like maybe our generation growing up, that version of it. Kind of like nowadays people say the hip-hop version of that is Sicko Mode by Travis Scott. Like there's different songs that are like these melancholy of things. But I feel like My Chemical Romance was the closest one to have that Bohemian Rhapsody vibe to a song.
Absolutely. Like, never topped the original, but that
No.
came close to being the new generation's Bohemian Rhapsody. Question.
Yeah, it is. It's such a journey when you listen to it. And then, like, yeah, again, I think it's kind of like You Found Me for you, Sean. I don't know if Warren feels this way. You hear the first couple times, like, oh, you're just singing, it's great. And then you listen to like the actual meaning of the song, and you're like, holy shit, this is some deep shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, but yeah, like, for example, I think a song that I always think of Warren, well, there's a couple, but I'm trying to think of like the key Warren song. You know which one I do think of more for Warren? Oh, I think of Homecoming Dances with Warren is Baby Got Back. That's like, immediately think of me and Warren dancing at homecoming to that one and like randomly getting a circle of like, the ladies. But
yeah.
Can't talk about my pimping days, you know?
Yeah.
No, but like that one, although this one was like later in life, but I feel like Pour Some Sugar on Me, but like that's more like a chanty one.
Because of the Brahmazine mayoral campaign video.
Well, you know what song makes me think of Who's Like Falls, so in turn makes me think of memories me and Warren had, was Hell's Bells, AC/DC. That was like the entrance song for like the football team. So you always thought about that on Friday nights. Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. Classic song, definitely.
Classic, yeah. There's a couple different ones from different memories. I don't know. Is there any songs, like, I'm trying to think of songs, Sean, like Safe and Sound. That's one that makes me think of you. And You Found Me. That's another one. Actually, you know what's another one I remember that kind of thinks of you, Sean, that's different for us was Don't Want to Miss a Thing, Aerosmith.
Oh yeah. Good song.
Remember the one time we sang that out at your place in Granville? Yeah.
Yeah.
RJ, I'm trying to think of a song, and you guys could do this too. It's kind of fun. RJ, what's the song that makes you think of RJ? All Me by Drake. That's our probably first one. That's a banger. What's another like RG song I think of? Oh yeah, Hotline Bling. But there's other ones besides Drake. I'm trying to think of some other ones.
There's gotta be one, a couple. There's gotta be a couple.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'll get back to it. I don't know. You guys have any? Like, is there any ones that make you think of each other, or vice versa? Or?
Well, you stole my thunder with Warren with the Pour Some Sugar on Me. But actually, why am I drawing a blank on RJ? I feel like this should be really easy.
Yeah, you guys have more nerd-tastic ones.
I know. We have to have one.
RJ and I have had a very diverse
Demons.
music relationship.
Demons by Imagine Dragons.
All right.
Yeah, we used to always play that song.
Right. Shit, I forgot about that. That's a great song.
Yes. Even though half their songs are now licensed.
Hmm.
But no, that song is a banger. Even though they kind of lost their touch.
Right.
Are they this decade's Nickelback?
Well, yeah, because they licensed every song now. So
They sure are, dude.
they licensed everything. So it's kind of annoying. They're good guys, though. They're not like creepy like Chad Kroger, but
Look at this photograph.
at the same time, they're nice guys. Like their lead singer is like a Family Guy and stuff, so it's nice. But when every song's in a car commercial, it's like, come on, guys, you really have to.
I'm trying to think like what else. You know what what's that name of that Coldplay song? Like Hymn, like living like in a hymn, or you used to play that a lot in the station and you liked it. That's another one I think of RJ.
Is it Fix You? No.
No, I mean look for it. It's a newer one. It came out like right around when they did Super Bowl 50.
So
Is it the?
oh,
Hymn for the Weekend.
I don't think it was that one. No, Sky Full of Stars with Avicii.
That one too.
Yes.
Yeah, those are some ones I think of RJ.
Adventure of a Lifetime. That was the one I always played.
Oh, that's the one. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that was another one. No,
Yeah,
you know what?
so-
Actually, another Warren one is Crazy Train Ozzy. That one makes you think of Warren.
Why? Because I put it in my yearbook?
darn it.
I think that we used to play in your car. There's a lot of classic songs that like
I.
Crazy Bitch by Buck Cherry. That was another one senior year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I always think of you know which one I always think of too? I think of you, but I also think of Pete Noble when we like hung out a couple times in like this time of the year when the song came out with Cyclone by Baby Bash.
I gone.
That was like when we were cranking up in the
You know what I got with you, Max?
what?
Riding Dirty.
Yeah, we used to jam that one.
Full blast going through Whitehall at night.
Yeah,
For no reason, we're in Whitehall. We're not going to stop.
What we used to have a term for when we do like drives like that. What would we call it?
Shit.
Like hangs or
Yeah. Oh, how about that one you used to break dance in the mall parking lot too?
Down by Jay Sean.
Down. Yes.
Yeah, that's a 09 bop.
Yeah. I guess we just called it Hanks or something.
I think we did just call them like hangs. Like we did like a Rutland hang or New York hang or.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably have video of that somewhere. Remember I had my camcorder once?
Yeah, we should
Dating
find
myself.
that. Shit, man, we're at 2 hours. Dude. We should probably get wrapped up here. What's anything that you guys been watching or anything like that that's been interesting?
What was the question? Sorry.
Like watching or anything nug-worthy this week?
Oh, okay.
No, I saw the new Bad Boys movie.
Oh, nice. How was it?
Good.
I heard it's good. I've heard it's good.
It's really good.
Yeah. I want to catch that.
It's got a good amount of action and comedy in it. So, yeah.
All right, time for Warren to rip me a new one. I have yet to ever see any of the Bad Boy series.
There's only one.
There's 3 of them.
Oh, yeah,
I've
that's
seen
right. But still.
I've
it's
seen
only
the
two.
original. That's about it. So I'm kind of on your.
Well, I'll tell you what, Bad Boys 2 and the new one are actually really good. They're not bad for sequels.
I've heard that. I would watch them. It's just more of like gotta kind of sit down and watch them. But yes, that's one. Or
Yeah.
Have you watched John Wick 2 yet or 3?
I haven't seen 1, 2, or 3 myself.
Oh, good. I'm not the only camp. One's really good,
my
Sean.
God.
I've never seen any of them.
Well, watch one and then maybe. Oh, that'd be funny. Okay, Warren, I have an idea for the show.
Movie night?
Yeah, but Sean needs to watch the first one, and then and me and Sean would be like the virgins watching the second one. We have opinions.
I can
How
do
about
that.
movies you haven't seen that you should have?
What, John Wick's?
No, just movies in general.
That's
Movies
a good
that-
segment. We should because
Movies, yeah.
you know what's gonna happen? I already know what's gonna happen, and I'm just gonna be upfront since we talked about it.
You're
When
going
I
to
had
shit.
my no, here's why. I have a weird complex. When I was younger, in high school and middle school age, I had to like sneak to watch those like risque movies that are like cult phenomenons with my mom, because I was the first kid, so she was. No, Warren knows this. I was the first kid, so she was a stickler for everything. No shit. My sister Lily at the house now, she drinks, like, if she doesn't drive, obviously, she'll let my sister Lily, Warren, you're going to be surprised, have Coke and rums, no problem, try wine. And I was joking with them on FaceTime last week. I'm like, you would have fucking kicked me out of the house if I had a beer in front of you. And you let her just nilly-willy have a Coke and rum. It was just like,
Wow.
It's funny. I was grilling them like the hypocrisy. But anyway, so there was a little bit of that. As I got in high school age, she gave less of a crap, but whatever. I made up for lost time by
Never even wrapped your Christmas presents. Let's not
That's
go
some
down that
inside
route.
joke shit.
Inside joke. Okay.
But then going to Les Fajas, the compound, very religious, I had to kind of like make time for those things. When I would have been college age, I would have watched a lot of that stuff. So you have to look from age 14 to 23. I lost a lot of time. I've been just catching up. I'm current on current things, but I had to catch up from those years and younger stuff. So
I watched Halloween when I was like 6.
no,
I was
my mom was that like. I was surprised my mom let me watch with them the Titanic movie, and that had titties in it.
Titties, man. I was watching Jason Voorhees chasing after half-naked girls when I was, I don't know, young, like 5,
I
6.
think Titanic only had one.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, by all means, there was movies I went to see that she may not realize or cared at that point. But I'm just saying, in the home, like before, like streaming was easy or having a smartphone and stuff, like, or even like I was probably junior year when like LimeWire and burning movies like that was like readily available. So, but I saw movies. I'm not trying to say I'm sheltered. I'm just saying for like maybe stuff that you would think I would have seen that's like horror, like a little risque from like the late 90s that you wouldn't have watched when you're 9. Those are things like. But yeah, I think a list of movies we haven't seen would be hilarious.
Yeah,
Just the
that's good.
razzles.
I like it.
But I am
Mine's
down
not going
for
to be that big.
No, the Warren list won't be big. But I bet that son of a bitch Warren has never watched Finding Nemo.
Huh?
Have you watched Finding Nemo?
Yeah, I own it.
Fuck, I was trying to like find a random Disney movie that Warren wouldn't
That,
cared
Finding Dory.
about. Okay.
He has a daughter.
You ever watched the Veggie Tales movie, Warren?
I have. I don't own it, but I have.
Larry the Cucumber.
You know, that's what the game's going to turn into. It's going to turn into what has Warren never seen?
I haven't seen the new Frozen yet.
First one or
That's good.
both?
The new one, he said.
I can see that.
Okay. I've only watched a third of it. I got to finish it with Nicole.
Third?
A third of Frozen 2. Like the first 20 minutes.
Action stuff.
Oh.
We started and then like something happened. We got busy. I don't know.
You got
Okay.
busy.
Oh, RJ, I wanted your opinion on this show before we go. And anyone else can put. You watched Too High to Handle on Netflix, as I did.
Yes.
It's quick recap for Sean and Warren. It's the show where basically you can win $100,000, but you can't kiss, jerk off, or have sex with anybody. And it's like a bunch of these like single people on the island.
Yeah. I would walk in there and win that in a minute.
I'm in the 3.5 episodes.
Okay, you're 3.5 in. Okay.
Yeah.
There's 8.
Really?
It's interesting.
I like the concept. It's really like, yeah.
Do you have a character you like so far?
Jesus.
Jesus is cool.
He's the only one I know of. By the way.
The Jesus guy.
Jesus.
Oh yeah, Matthew. Yeah, he's dope. He's like the one. I'm like, okay, he's like the one like guy who has like some brain cells.
I'm
Well,
surprised at the Canadian girl, because Canadians.
yeah, she does buck the trend of how Canadians usually act. I will say that.
Oh, really?
It's
It's
very
interesting.
diverse. I will say it's diverse, though. I mean, they
Oh, it
got
is.
foreign people.
Okay, so the characters, it doesn't give anything away. The characters I liked was, I like Jesus. I like that David guy from the UK. He was cool.
Hey,
I liked
Melchizedek. I like Melchizedek.
I liked Sharon. He was a cool dude.
Oh, from Jersey.
From Jersey. He's a cool dude. Yeah, actually, that would be maybe that should be like an overtime topic about who I think was like the hottie of the hotties out there. But
I haven't
I
picked
also
one
have an
yet.
overtime topic to present next. So
okay, so maybe we'll do that for us. You guys can listen next week. But yeah, I think it's an interesting show. It's very good for like human experimentation, and I definitely recommend it. So,
Me too.
any other thoughts before I close out for the night? For the show part. All right, guys. So definitely check us on social, Facebook, YouTube, podcast. I will say this to everybody. Thank you for putting up with us through this Zoom session. I think as the pandemic clears up, or we have at least a better idea that we're comfortable being in the same rooms if we plan it right, I think we could do a lot of cool show concepts, and there might even be a big change to format. I think we want to retool. Not big, but like just some. I want to get creative, and right now this is kind of more just like guys shooting the breeze. But I think we add a lot of fun elements, so definitely look forward to that. And Warren's, I think we want to do a little like checking out profiling to Dub's Grub. I think that's a cool piece I want to add. So
All right.
once things get a little more like internally built, I think that'd be fun to do some stuff like transformations and stuff. But yeah, no, Sean has ideas, RJ has ideas, but yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for doing that, and check us out next week. We might get a guest. If you behave, we'll get you a guest. All right, peace.